Hey guys, how's it going? It's Flux here. Welcome back to Fluxburgh, and today's a pretty special episode. You may have just seen we did some work on our little cargo facility down this way, and I'm thinking just for this episode I want to kind of go back and take a look at all of our creations, kind of explain some of the things we just did here with this new cargo facility, and really just prepare for the new island, and then after that the new kind of section of land over on this side and what we're going to do with that. So I figured we go back, kind of take a look at some things and look back on the things we've done so far in this series. We've got a lot of requests for this, and so I thought we'd finally do it now. But why don't we start with just this new facility over here, kind of what's going on and how it's all working now. So as you can see, everything is working so much better after this new kind of rebuild of this cargo facility over here. The main problem with our little terminal here for our trains is we had these two middle lanes dedicated to basically the connections to our old cargo terminal down this way, the boat or the dock area, and that just wasn't working out very well because we had basically all of the cargo coming off of the boats going into this single cargo terminal down this way, and then basically sending off to everything in this entire area. And because we have cargo trucks cut off from using this bridge right here, it pretty much put entirely way too much stress on that one single cargo dock there. So our solution to that is to expand and build a little island off this way. And then what I did here is I made 3 new cargo docks, but the difference is instead of them just connecting standard to the highway like you'd expect them to, basically each dock connects to the highway in a different direction. So if you look down here and take a look at this real quick, we have this one that goes underground, comes up over here, and then connects onto the highway going off this way towards North Flux City. Then we have the middle connection going off towards South Flux City, or just, I guess, Flux City, and basically any connections that come off of this highway over here. So that could include this area over here if you're quick enough to get down this way. And then, of course, we have one more connection, and this one's actually kind of unique. This far right connection goes down here. It hits an underground tunnel this way. I'll go ahead and show you real quick. It hops underground, and then it follows alongside this street all the way down here and connects onto our main entry point of Flux City. So that's where all this cargo comes from, and that's where all this traffic is currently coming from as well. And that's been a really useful connection just because now we can have pretty much a direct line to Flux City without using these highways whatsoever. So that kind of explains why we have 3 exit points that are separated and not like the same. It forces basically use out of all 3 of these without, putting too much stress on any one given cargo dock. And then at the same time, we also only have 2 entries because the 2 coming from this side can kind of just be like the same, right? Like basically the one going to Flux City and the one going to the highway down this direction towards Flux City are both going to be coming back on the same highway, so we didn't need to have 2 different connections again. And then same with this little separate one which comes from this side. So again, kind of trying to encourage the use of different cargo docks and not the same cargo dock. But all in all, it's working out really, really well now. As you can see, we have no more demand for cargo in the entire city, which is really, really awesome. We're getting full use out of this area now, and I actually did something different now. I kind of want to explain this a bit more. I tried something new. So I got a lot of questions of people, especially on Reddit. I posted this on Reddit a while ago, if you don't know. And they were saying, why would you make this a 6-lane here if you only need to use like maybe the first 2 lanes to turn in this way? There's no reason to have all 6 lanes here. Well, as you can see, they're all getting used right now. And the reason why is the middle 4 lanes all the way down this 6th lane and actually all the way back up in this direction as well are actually faster than the outer 2 lanes. And the reason for that is if you're not making any sort of turn or any sort of delivery, immediately off of the avenue, there's no reason you should be in the outside lanes. So I sped up the middle lanes, as you can see here, to kind of encourage cars to move towards the middle and away from the turnoffs to kind of get out of the whole complex here. And by doing that, we're effectively just kind of splitting up the traffic and making sure everyone is using all the lanes and not wasting any space here. And as you can see, it works really, really well, and it also kind of looks cool. I really like the look of this, having traffic going faster on the middle 4 lanes here than the traffic on the outside lanes. It kind of looks more realistic, a little more like an actual complex would, and it kind of hurries up the traffic going out and leaving the complex. So that worked out really well, and as you can see, they're all kind of spilling out this way and onto these avenues this way. We've also got some traffic going in this direction and some people coming out of the cargo docks to go this way as well. So this whole area is quite the busy highway, but as you can see, because of all the different entrances and exits that are kind of strategically placed in areas where they won't really cause too much congestion, and they're also on different sides of the road, we've pretty much avoided any sort of backup anymore. There's no more cars backing up on this little roundabout turnoff or anything like that anymore, which is fantastic. And, oh right, the one final thing that I did also is this used to be an overpass that connected over here in like a third little arm coming off of this little roundabout section here. And that was just a nightmare because then we had two different merge sections all, you know, in this little tiny space here. So all these cars were backing up and then all the way down the highway. And that was also due to having these cargo docks down this way. But basically by moving this down and coming down this way, we don't have any more backing up on this ramp and everything's good to go. So that, I will say, is probably one of my favorite new things in the city now. I really love how this all turned out. I love how we have these little islands down here with some nice wind power, which actually, believe it or not, this area is really, really good for wind. Let me see if I can... Where's the wind map? Hang on. I thought that the electricity map would do that, but it did not. Wind map. Here we go. Oh, interesting. It looks like it actually updated after we were... after we kind of placed all these things down, but it used to be a really good wind spot. Apparently now it is not a very good wind spot. That's okay though. 5 megawatts isn't terrible. It could be 12, I think, is the max, so could be much better. It actually was really good back before we built all this stuff around here, but that's okay. It still kind of looks cool, I think, so I'm going to leave it there anyway. It's kind of like a little bit of emergency power for this little section here. For whatever reason, one of these things dezones and removes the little link on this side. So anyway... Let me close that real quick. Everything is running smoothly now. We've got all of our highways kind of in check again, and the city, of course, doesn't have any traffic, which is awesome. It's actually surprisingly way better than I imagined it would be. Like, there's hardly any traffic at all in here now with all these buses, which you can see is actually really cool to watch. All of these buses coming into this little terminal here along the airport, and then people transferring from bus depot to bus depot is a pretty cool sight to see. But yeah, so no more traffic in the main city, and definitely no more traffic in the main highway, which is really awesome because, like I said before, this is our single only connection from Strywood and Stockgrove and all that stuff over to Flux City. So it's pretty impressive that we've been able to basically just outsource all of our cargo or have it come in via the trains or our own little manufacturing facility or offshore with these little docks down here. So anyway, that's that. Got a little fire down this way. I may go back and actually do some work on this area. I didn't really ever get to finish it the way I wanted to. I want to take out these little parking lots over here, maybe throw down some like cement concrete barriers or something like that. But that area will be changed for sure. And then especially want to make this area look pretty nice because right now it's kind of just like the standard triangular interchange. I want to make that kind of like a cool little centerpiece here or something, but we'll get to that later. Now, I have got a lot of questions about our ore mining operation, and it actually is working really, really well still. Something to point out is that this is a specialization and not like a general industry. Obviously, you guys know that, but some people on Reddit did not know that. And because of that, we actually have to make different connections within this facility. So by that, I mean a truck may have to go to one industrial complex, like one of these things that's doing all the digging, and then it may have to loop back around again and come back and connect over to these, which are the processing plants that make processed goods. So there's definitely a difference, and you need to know that if you're making a specialized facility like this, and that's why you'll see some of these trucks actually don't stop. They just go straight through here. They don't even try and turn in this way, and that is because they are making multiple deliveries, and that's why this system works like this. And believe it or not, it's still effective, even though, you know, it's all one-way streets. That there's a reason why I divided it up like this, unlike the other ones. I definitely wanted to have a much shorter route in case they need to come back and loop around again to get to more buildings. So that's kind of the thought behind that design, and I'm still on the fence about if I'm going to change it or not. I really like how it turned out, honestly. The only thing I don't like about it is more just the way it looks. I'd like it if it was more of like a pit mine kind of thing, but I'm not too worried about that. So anyway, going off from there, we've got our Fluxburgh University down this way. Their cool little interchange over here and kind of some more countryside stuff. I definitely like how this stuff turned out. I really like how the university campus turned out. I like the parking and the cool dorms down here. Got some cool flowers and all that stuff. Some of these building assets are definitely older. Like this one, I think, was like one of the first that I saw. And this little modern art facility. So definitely lots of really cool new assets coming in, which I'm excited for the resort. That'll be awesome to see. But we've got Gula's little, I think this is like an event center or something down this way. And then of course the gigantic stadium over here, which is pretty cool, I think. So that's the university. We've got back this way we have Hickory Ridge. This is our giant kind of cool ridge neighborhood thing we got going on here, which is of course still doing just fine. No more problems over here with traffic. That's all cleared up now without the connection down this way, which is actually was a total nightmare before. So I'm glad we got rid of that. And I actually like this area much better now with less traffic. You know, more bus routes going out this way, and you can definitely see that the highways get plenty of use. But we don't have any backed up traffic, which is awesome to see. And that's especially cool to see on the Spaghetti Expressway, our first interchange. Like, look at how awesome this thing works. No more backing up, no more merging problems along here, which was a total nightmare before with all that cargo stuff. So really awesome to see this stuff working out now. You can see that we do get some imports for goods and things, but all that stuff goes straight past and goes down this way because, of course, this little bridge here is actually banned for any sort of cargo trucks. So that's kind of a situation with that. Where was I going? Oh, yeah. Take a look at Yankville County real quick. Our little small town area down here. I actually like this a lot. I like how this little small town turned out. Let me try and ride on one of these little cars real quick. Go on maybe on the bus. Let's take a look and see what... Oh, that's going the wrong way. I think we had something coming this way. I could take a car, I guess. Yeah, I'll take a truck. Why not? Go ahead and ride down through Yankville County. And there's our little single McDonald's. That was actually before I got the... Can I look around here? I thought I could. Whoop! Oh wow! I guess I can only look around with the arrow keys then. Thought I could like click to zoom or something. That was before I had the new asset for McDonald's that lets you place them wherever you want instead of having only one of them. But right now it's the only one we have in the city. This guy's tailing this police officer pretty hard. Whoa! Yeah, I think you need to get a new mod for the whole. I don't know, for this first-person view. I don't really like the way this works with the arrow keys here, but got a train coming. Gonna have to stop for that. Oops, I'll step out real quick and take a look at where we are again. But I like this little small town. I like the little baseball diamond over here. We got a little water tower back here, and the cool kind of older cathedral-style church. Looks pretty sweet. And our nice little farming districts down this way with the rows of bushes and things like that. I want to do more of that, especially down this way, and offshore would be fantastic. All right, down to Pollution Point. So this place has had so much renovation. So many things have changed here since I think I showed it when I first built this. The first thing, actually, we do have some traffic over here for the docks. That's definitely just something that happens. And you can see we actually don't even really use these. I think I'm going to rework this system a bit so that we get use out of all of this stuff and not just the single one. Again, kind of comes down to the way you're going to design this stuff and basically where each one goes. Because these all go in the same spot. They're all on the same street here. There's no benefit to using, say, this one over this one because this one's closer anyway. So you may as well just use the closer one, right? And the game doesn't really have like a limitation where when it notices that one's really busy, it'll start using the other one. It kind of just keeps using the busy one and it keeps building up and it gets really, really bad like this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to build a little offshore thing here, like maybe a little strip where we can have some connections that go back onto the highway. And maybe have like one that goes this way towards the new island over here. And then maybe have one that goes off in this direction towards everything else. But as you can see, we're getting plenty of use out of this little cargo train facility over here, which is actually what's sending most of the cargo back towards our new little facility down this way. Oops, down this way over here. And I like our new wraparound system that basically prevents any backing up onto the actual highway that exits. Looks a little confusing at first, but it's actually really simple. Basically, every single connection, every single way that you can leave the city has a little split off, and then I kind of had this thing do a little zigzag around this way. And by doing that, we left some room so cars can definitely sit here and wait in line to get into the cargo train facility without having to block the actual connection back onto the highway again. And we're getting a pretty even amount of people using the cargo train or the highway. We're not having any, like, too much of one, which is awesome. And it looks like our flow is still pretty even going into Pollution Point. You know, the occasional stopping, especially on this road here where we have... basically just factories on both sides that block cars. It's kind of annoying. But it's still fine. It all works just fine. All of our all of our nuclear power plants down this way. I like this little like double nuclear power plant thing here. How they like face different directions, kind of cool. But yeah, so traffic is handling just fine on this side, no problems. We have a few office buildings down this way. I kind of like the way these turned out. Actually, they're all different, unique assets. I think actually everything here besides this one. Wait, not this one. Everything here besides this one is a custom building. Actually, I know this one is, and I know these two are for sure. You can see how much better they look too. They're really, really awesome looking assets. So anyway, that's that for Pollution Point. We'll head on down over here to, wow, I gotta remember all these names now, but I think this is North Stock Grove, right? Yeah, this is North Stock Grove and Evergreen Ridge, and these definitely had some really bad traffic problems early on, especially with this little roundabout down this way, and wow, that might need some work. It used to be a really cool looking, like, crossing section. Now it kind of looks weird. I think I had to delete a few of these pieces to make everything work. But this is Evergreen Ridge down this way as we get closer to Pollution Point. So not super nice housing down this way, but not bad. Little suburbs here and there. And here's the aftermath of the accidental futurization of this whole area, which just made all of these little like same looking little box houses all through here. I wish there was a way to get rid of that. I actually deleted a lot of them. You can see where they grew back to regular houses again over on this side. But that's kind of the thing with using that whole futurization. I think it was like a legislation I passed in that little district, but that's okay. It kind of makes it look cool when you zoom out. It looks like little combs of buildings here and there. A nice little suburb down that way. All right, back to Stock Grove. This is the main part of Stock Grove, and you can see we got actually some buildings growing back still. I think we're having some RCI balance issues over here. I don't think we... Oh, actually, you know what? I think it's just buildings that aren't really fully zoned or fully... They're just office space that don't actually grow to be tall buildings, that's all. I don't really know why there's so many assets for office space that aren't full-sized buildings. I kind of like the max level to be bigger buildings than that, but take a look at these. These are kind of cool. I think these are actually new assets. I don't know if they're new to the base game or if they're like assets that I installed, but they look pretty cool. So are these the residential? Wow, those look really nice compared to the old ones. I think these are actually added by Colossal Order. Are they? I don't really know. Look at that. That's a little basketball court up here, some tennis courts on the top. It's a pretty cool little setup there. Of course, the main city over here of Stock Grove. Oops, I'm not in the cool mode anymore. We've got DNA Way over here, which is actually really, really cool. I still really enjoy this highway. I think it's kind of funny how they're going at like 100 kilometers per hour, just like flying around these little hills. Like, it looks totally ridiculous. I think it's kind of funny though. We got this, wow, actually a lot of use out of this cargo facility down this way. I think this is actually going straight out and then reconnecting with this, which goes straight over to Pollution Point. So this has definitely brought us quite a bit of effective transportation with cargo trucks that don't rely on this highway nearly as much. Still some minor merging problems. You can see, you know, like kind of unnecessary poor merging choices, but that's okay. Not a huge deal. And it seems like it's only like occasional blurps of traffic that go away after a while, so I'm not too concerned about that. Anyway, here's the far side of Stock Grove. We've got some, oops, have you some stuck trains here? I can't really tell what's happening. I think one just despawned because it was stuck on this little... sometimes these smaller interchanges cause some problems. They get a little confused sometimes, and they'll get stuck. Oops, this might be a problem here in a minute. Oh, no, we're good? Okay, good. Anyway, here are our little crossovers to Strywood. This is Strywood, and I think this is North Strywood down this way. Oh, wait. Hang on a minute. This is Strywood, and this is South... The Strywood Coast, that's what this is. Okay, that's what I thought. So... this is our first city we made, and as you can see, obviously it's kind of showing. There's lots of like weird elevated highways through here, and you can see that I really changed the infrastructure quite a bit, and some problems with the design, obviously. All kind of things that are just gonna happen whenever you make your first city. You don't really know what you're doing. You can see here, like, I think I made this like what was like 3, 4, 5 months ago, something like that. I think I made this within like the first couple months that the game came out, actually. So it's been quite a while since we worked on this one. You can see my interesting highway decisions, some right-hand turns. I don't really know. I kind of like to leave it here, though. I mentioned this before, but I really like to leave these old infrastructures in here if they're functioning, to an extent where it's fine, it's working. It's kind of cool to go back and look and see what you did, in the past compared to our present day designs. That seem to work much better than the older ones. It's definitely a pretty stunning difference between Strywood's infrastructure and the new Flux City infrastructure, which I think is much better, much cooler layout. Especially with like the way we laid out. There's a lot of wasted space kind of in these areas, especially next to the bus depot down this way. Then you go over here and you can see just how awesome all the grids turned out, all the cool parts of the district, especially around this side. And I love how these buildings all kind of curve around this cool little roundabout down this way. Pretty cool little design over there. But anyway, this is Strywood. Here's our bus depot, the first one we made. Actually pretty successful though, lots of use out of this still. And I think it still has, all these white ones actually go back to the airport. So that's what the white ones are doing. That's probably why we got a lot of traffic on this side over here. Lots of people coming off from the airport and heading over to other parts of Strywood. And again, that's kind of my reasoning behind a lot of these designs. I get a lot of questions like, why are you doing certain things over here with like always having all of your bus routes come back to the airport? And kind of the idea behind that is that I want to make it so that no matter what route you take from any part of Flux City, you can always come back to the airport and then either take the airport out, take the metro out, take the boats out, the dock out this way, or you can take a transfer line that comes out this way to either Strywood or Lakewood way down this way, and get out in that way. So I kind of think it's cool that you can basically get anywhere you want by bus and transfer very easily. You can see actually these are the black buses that come directly from the airport, and this is where we got quite a bit of a crowd actually. So it's kind of cool to watch and see how you'll get some big crowds around the black buses especially, which are from the airport. And take a look at all this usage here. It's pretty cool to see actually. I like that a lot. Whew, all right. Here's downtown Strywood. Still looking fancy as ever. I think this Vero building is still bugged though. Is it? Let's find out here. Yep. Still bugged. I think there's like this thing that some people still don't understand how to do with the assets, and I think a lot of the older assets, especially people who are just starting to make new skyscrapers whenever we got the whole modding thing was new. There's like a bug where you could, I guess, just like make it so the crime would not really reset itself, and it would just like keep growing and growing and growing until it maxes out, and then it would just like reset again. So that kind of sucks, but whatever. It's not a big deal. All right, down to the Hamsterdam. This thing I think is really, really cool. You can see some more, maybe some poor planning at the tip here of Strywood. It's actually more the fact that we have not only a cargo train here, but also a cargo dock in the same spot. This is before I really understood just how demanding and how, I don't know, crazy these things can get. And you can see here I also placed this one backwards, so all the cars are trying to cross each other, which is just not even close to a good way to do this. So again, could definitely be changed and be different in the future. But here's the Hamsterdam. Very nice. I love this thing so much. This is like probably when we first started using some really cool custom assets and playing around with these different things you can use. It's a lot of fun to play around with. And I also love how this dam turned out and how we're actually getting power out of this thing. Got our cool little Gula hamster statues down this way. And also the dedicated bus crossing on both sides over here. And of course our awesome 7-star Dubai hotel that I like quite a bit over on this side. Whew, awesome. And then we'll move into, ooh, yeah, we have this little library down here too. It's pretty cool. I kind of like this little asset down this way. Right next to the Hamsterdam, and a little festival area down over here. All the tents and everything. All right, down to FIA, Fluxburgh International Airport. This one I think is actually probably one of the most successful transportation networks. I really love how this all works out here. And I like how all of these assets kind of played together. I really like this one especially. This is like that shopping mall slash, I think it's like a hotel on the outside. There's like shopping mall area on the inside with some cool stalls, or yeah, I guess stalls or whatever, restaurants and shops and all that stuff on the inside. Pretty cool little place down there. And it looks a lot like a terminal, or a lot like a, I don't know, a main building for an airport. So kind of turned out well there. And then we've got the all the infrastructure, all the highways coming in this way. Of course, our main highway system over here with our Pretty awesome little exit loops, I think. I really like how this looks when you zoom out all the way. You can kind of see all these little swirls where the highways kind of swirl off and go to different parts of the city. Definitely a cool little design there, and some different connection pieces. You have some traffic down this way. I'm actually going to go back and probably do some timed lights down this way. I think I already have some now that just aren't working very well, so I might go back and try and fix that more. But kind of just some inevitable traffic you're going to get whenever you're working with the parts of the city that are like right next to, you know, cargo facilities. I might actually make one more connection, maybe like a little split off here. In fact, I think I will do this later on. I'll put like a, as you can see, this basically just turns into 2 lanes because we don't really need 3 lanes right now. What we could do is we can have a third off ramp that comes off this way and then comes in here and goes underground and then connects maybe down, I don't know, maybe further down this way, maybe even like over on this thing. And by doing that, what we could do is we could prevent, or we could basically just cut traffic over here on this side. Actually, connecting right here would be a really good spot. And then by doing that, what we do is we prevent anybody from unnecessarily traveling all the way down this way and then, you know, coming down these avenues just to get over to some certain spot. Because this tells me right here, by seeing all of these cargo trucks stacked up here, this tells me that we're having cargo trucks trying to get through this avenue to get somewhere down this way, which will work much better if we had a better connection down over here. So that's probably going to be the next fix before we start on the island. But definitely loving these new infrastructural highways down this way, connecting to the Bayside over here, of course, the North Flux City Bayside, which I like a lot. I know I get some people saying I should, you know, like remove the water pollution, get some, like, I don't know, treatment plants that just totally remove water pollution. I don't know. I don't really mind having this whole facility down this way, and it kind of matches with our big ore mining operation down on this side. And I just feel like it's almost kind of cheating the game a little bit if you just like get rid of all water pollution. Like, it's kind of supposed to be in the game. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's like, where do you draw the line? You know, you're going to use like unlimited money but not use mods like that, or whatever. So I don't know. I guess I'm fine with it how it is. I'm not really too concerned about it. This is kind of supposed to be more of like an office space bayside, more than like a beach relaxation bayside. And of course, we're going to have our actual resort down here on this side. But anyway, what do we miss? We didn't really cover this area over here yet. So let's take a look at this this little interchange. I really love this. The what was this called again? The spin cycle, of course. The spin cycle. This thing turned out really, really nice. You can see it's still effectively handling all our traffic coming straight out of this Lakewood bus terminal over here, and still no problems here. It was actually broken for quite a while when we had let's see, it was like the T++ and the traffic manager mods were both down. That was a nightmare. A lot of these roundabout interchanges really just did not work at all because they had like lights here and here, which is not good ever. So anyway, there's that. Then coming down this way, we also had, I think this one is the Sauron's Eye. Oh, did I ever name this? I guess I never named this. Anyway, I actually changed this a bit. I added some cool little orange foliage over here. But this is the other roundabout interchange that works out pretty well. And links over, I think this is like Hickory Meadows. And then we had Lakewood down this way, Hidden Valley. Hidden Valley has a really cool interchange. I really like this one a lot, especially. This is like a really weird interchange that turned out pretty cool. You know, not your typical turbine or a roundabout interchange, but more of like a weird, very, very specific to this area over here, which I like a lot. I like to do things like this, where it's very, very scenario-specific interchanges and not so cookie-cutter, like just like pick it up and drop it over here kind of interchange. So that was especially cool, I think. And this little switch up over here is pretty cool as well, although there's not supposed to be a light here. That is something that's not supposed to be there. Fortunately, we don't have any traffic over here, but I'm going to remove it anyway. Must have been after I re-added this thing in here. Probably put these back. Let's see, there's supposed to be one over here. Oh, no, there's not. Never mind, we're good to go. So using T++, we can prevent them from making turns onto these and basically making all of this stuff just straight merging, which is pretty cool. Works out pretty well. And I really like this little area, this little Hidden Valley kind of neighborhood that goes off towards the Yankville County down that way. And then, of course, our gigantic Lakewood Bus Depot is really awesome as well. This thing's been servicing pretty much everywhere over here, actually. I think there's like bus routes that go all over this area from Lakewood. And a lot of them are actually colored almost to the road, so it's kind of hard to see which ones are which. But there are quite a bit. I think actually everywhere in our entire city so far has bus routes, no problem. So that's pretty awesome. But anyway, that's the episode for today, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. Just wanted to kind of go back and look at the cool things we built so far in this series. Some cool angles, some cool first-person stuff that we couldn't really do before, and basically just things we haven't really looked at in a long time that I wanted to show up before we go on to the island, of course, next episode. Got some cool things in store for you guys, but in the meantime, hope you all enjoyed, and as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.